On this episode of Special Report, study finds that Colorado gig drivers make on average just $5.49 an hour after all their expenses. I'm calling bullshit. Let's talk.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Dash and Dave here again. Please click that subscribe button and hit that like button. Thank you very much. Alright, gonna jump in the studio for this one. This article comes to us from The Guardian. Yes, The Guardian is pretty salacious and preposterous sometimes in their reporting, but let's remember that they are reporting what someone else said here. What did this someone else say? Colorado gig drivers make an average of just $5.49 an hour, study says. Drivers for platforms like Lyft, Uber, and Doordash in Denver, Colorado, on average make significantly less than minimum wage when accounting for expenses and time spent on the app, a new study found. The latest research to highlight the struggles of such workers across the U.S. Research from workers' rights group Colorado Jobs with Justice, in partnership with Drivers Union Colorado Independent Drivers United, surveyed hundreds of gig workers in the Denver area regarding their work between November 1, 2021 and January 31, 2022, and found drivers on average took home $5.49 an hour after expenses. That average is roughly 35% of Denver's 2022 minimum wage of $15.87 and falls significantly below the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Okay, back up to the first paragraph. Very interesting here. Drivers on average make significantly less than minimum wage when accounting for expenses, totally logical, and time spent on the app. So we all know that we have some downtime, so I guess if you've got 5 minutes of downtime, they're applying this minimum wage of $15.87 at the rate for whatever that is for the few minutes of downtime that we're on. And again, you can kind of quantify that, but at the same time, that's a little disingenuous to figure that in. Dropping down to paragraph 4. Those numbers have been sinking as gas prices soar across the U.S. and inflation rises. Well, yeah, that pretty much affects everybody. In Denver, where the study was conducted, the median cost of rent increased more than 45% in the last year to $2,550. That's some high rent. Yes, it is. Some workers in the study reported driving as many as 18 hours a day to make ends meet. Okay, back the truck up. Apparently they're taking housing costs into your expenses. Well, then let's do that for everybody, including the McDonald's worker in Denver, Colorado that was making under $15.87 until this year, 2022, when the new minimum wage rolled out. Let's look at them. We're going to take their taxes off. We're going to take their Medicare off. We're going to take their housing off. We're going to take the gasoline they burn to go to work off. Let's throw in a jug of laundry detergent. My God, that shit is expensive. I mean, come on, what are we going to consider expenses here, people? Look at it this way. If you make $200,000 a year in salary and you spend $200,000 a year in expenses to live, guess what? You just made $0 per hour. This is disingenuous. Not reporting, the Guardian's just reporting on what this group has put out there. But yeah, this is disingenuous. All right, on this page, paragraph 3. According to the study, drivers reported a median of 38 hours worked each week. The majority of drivers, 61%, said they relied on gig work as a primary means of income. That goes directly against what every driver platform has stated in their numbers. But hey, you know what? In Colorado, maybe this is the case. Okay, fine, whatever. Coming down to paragraph 4, spokespeople from Uber and Doordash strongly disputed the findings of the study. A spokesperson for Uber disputed the calculation of cost for drivers. Well, yeah, we just pointed that out. If you're taking off your living expenses, your housing expenses, applying that as expenses to the income that you bring in, and then figure out how much you made per hour, like I said, let's do that for everybody. That's fair, right? Coming down to the last paragraph, a spokesperson from Doordash also said the company's own data showed drivers work less than full-time and spend fewer than 4 hours each week on a delivery. Doordash added that the company's data showed dashers across all markets earned $25 an hour while on delivery. Okay, and that's a true statement too. That is before expenses. You may make $5.49 an hour in Denver, Colorado after all expenses, including your housing. But come on, to hang this out there like they're only making $5.49 an hour from these groups that are supposedly have our benefit in mind is pure bullshit. This is cooking the books, fudging the numbers, plain and simple. Now, you know what? If you want to use this metric across the board, across every job, across every person in every city and location, take off their housing expenses, be my guest. But it's going to be horrible per hour rate no matter what job you have as a working man or woman. Here in the cornfields of central Iowa, my entire monthly expenses don't equal $2,550, and this is what Denver Coloradans are spending on average for rent. Hey, that's bad, man, I get that, but it's a hopping town. That's where the rich go to play and party, and you know what? If you can't make it there, you can't make it there. That's just the way it is. You know, I track my expenses on a spreadsheet. If you've watched my videos, you've seen that over and over again. Tracking true expenses, which is the gas that I use, maintenance, anticipated maintenance on the vehicle, I take off for that, plus all my taxes. After that, I average around $13 to $15 an hour after those expenses. If I were to throw in every living expense like they have done here when they've added housing, yeah, you can bring that number down to $0 per hour, or, you know, $1 an hour after all expenses, which is below minimum wage. All right, well, let's all pay us above minimum wage after all of our expenses, which mean we'd all be getting $30 or $40 an hour. This is cooking the books. These groups that put this shit out there, they know it. You know, they found out in Denver, if they took off the cost of housing, you know, living out there, that they could come up with a super low number that was even below the federally mandated minimum wage of $7.25, and they're throwing this out there to, you know, further their agenda. And let's be clear, their agenda has one sole purpose, and that's to take away what you have right now and replace it with something else. Alright guys and gals, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully you can take something from this video and put it to use for yourself. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and hope to see you next time.